There have been a decent amount of LEGO Star Wars Mandalorian minifigures from different eras. In this video, I am going over my top 15 favorite LEGO Mandalorian minifigures. Number 15 is the Mandalorian Super Commando from the Mandalorian Speeder set in 2013. These guys were Mandalorians who were loyal to Maul, and they have a pretty cool design with the red and black color scheme and the handprint on the helmet, which makes less sense in LEGO form because minifigures don't have hands like that, but still cool nonetheless. But besides the helmet and torso printing, this figure is a little basic for the arms and legs. Number 14 is one of the Mandalorian Tribe Warriors from the Mandalorian Battle Pack in 2020. This is a Mandalorian design that didn't really appear in the show until kind of in Season 3, and this is my favorite Mandalorian from that battle pack. I think the colors work well on this one and it doesn't stand out too much. It has some nice printing and I especially like the helmet with the orange and gray. Number 13 is Boba Fett, the Mandalorian version who was in a few sets between 2021 and 2023, and this figure gets a lot of hate because of the helmet. The color of the helmet should be darker and I think it would look better if it was, but even with that issue, I still think this is a great figure otherwise. It has fantastic printing all around with a nice new face print for him, and I think all of the colors look great together besides the helmet, but because of the helmet, it can't be any higher on this list. Number 12 is Jango Fett, and this figure was in the Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive from 2017, but a similar version was released in 2013. Jango Fett has a pretty standard Mandalorian look with the blue and silver color scheme, and I think this figure looks pretty slick. This is also my favorite Jango Fett figure. The classic one is alright, but not great compared to this in my opinion. And the Christmas version is a nice variant, but I prefer his regular design. Number 11 is Sabine Wren. This version was in two sets from 2016 and 2017. I chose the version with the blue and green hair because I like this hair color more and I think the printing for her outfit looks a little better. The only downside with this figure is that it didn't come with her helmet. In fact, her helmet only ever came in one set. But Sabine and this figure has some pretty colorful armor with some cool designs. Number 10 is Din Djarin in his non-Beskar armor from the UCS Razor Crest in 2022. And this figure is a great update of the previous version with the dual molded arms and new helmet printing and just great details overall. It would be higher, but I prefer the Beskar version of his armor. Number 9 is Pre Vizsla from Pre Vizsla's Mandalorian Fighter in 2012, and this is one of the earlier Mandalorian figures and it looks pretty good for being a 10-year-old figure. He has great printing and a pretty cool cape. It does have an ugly Clone Wars face, but it does come with the hairpiece to switch it out with the helmet. Number 8 is the Mandalorian Loyalist from the Mandalorian Starfighter in 2021. And this is just a great figure for a generic Mandalorian character with some nice helmet details and fantastic printing. It's kinda surprising how good this figure is for just a random Mandalorian, and it's great for expanding a Mandalorian minifigure collection. Number 7 is Bo-Katan Kryze, the Clone Wars version also from the Mandalorian Starfighter in 2021. She has an awesome design on her helmet and it was translated pretty well on the figure. There's also some nice silver printing for the armor and it's just another really good figure, and it comes with a hairpiece to swap with the helmet. Number 6 is Boba Fett from the UCS Slave 1 in 2015, and I think this is the best regular Boba Fett minifigure. It's pretty similar to a lot of other Boba Fett figures, but the printed arms on this one really elevate it to be close to perfect for Boba Fett. The classic printed arms Boba Fett from Cloud City in 2003 is also nice and a great figure for the time, but it's not on this list because I think figures have improved since then and I prefer the newer LEGO Mandalorian style. Number 5 is White Boba Fett from the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia in 2015, and this design is based on original concept art for Boba Fett. I think it's really cool to get a figure like this and it's just a neat design. There's also an older version of this with the more classic design, but I prefer the newer version. Number 4 is Paz Vizsla from the Armorer's Mandalorian Forge in 2021. This figure has a more unique design with the bulkier armor, and I like the sand blue colors and all the great details. It also has a brick-built jetpack, and this figure became a bit more desirable after The Mandalorian Season 3. Number 3 is Bo-Katan the Mandalorian version from the Spider Tank in 2023. After the Clone Wars version of Bo-Katan was released, I didn't think they would make a better Bo-Katan figure, but they really surprised me when they did with this figure. I think the torso printing looks more dull than the Clone Wars version, but that is accurate, and this version has a lighter blue color with arm printing and a new hairpiece. Number 2 is Gar Saxon from the Mandalorian Starfighter in 2021, and this is a really awesome design with the red and black color scheme, and the unique helmet with the horns and yellow visor is really cool. This is just a great figure with really detailed printing. And number 1 is Din Djarin with Beskar armor from a bunch of sets. The version I picked of this figure is the one with the cape. The newest version of this figure has a better helmet print, but I didn't pick that one because the figure with that helmet doesn't have the cape and I prefer the cape to the jetpack. This is an incredibly detailed figure with printing on the arms, and I like the brown and silver color scheme. I also just really like the character and the show. And like I said, the only thing that would make this version better is the newer helmet. So those are my top 15 LEGO Star Wars Mandalorian minifigures. It's always great to get new Mandalorian designs as figures. But anyway, that's all I have to say. See you next time, goodbye.